In this video, I'm going to talk about how to write trig equation given the graph. Okay, so let's write the generic equation. We call them sinusoid. Y is equal to A. You can use a sine or you could use a cosine, doesn't matter, which depending on the beginning point. Then we are going to have a B x minus C plus D. So one more time, A is a vertical stretch or shrink, B is a horizontal stretch shrink, C is a horizontal shift, and D is a vertical shift. Let's review one more time the relationship between a period and a B. B is always 2 pi over period, and you can say that period is always 2 pi over B. Let's review quick. The sine graph always starts from 0, 0, and cosine graph always starts at maximum. This is a normal cosine graph. And of course, with the reflection, we can see how they come up, reflection across the x-axis. Okay, so let's take a look at this example here. We can see that the amplitude is, this is A, half the height of the wavelength, total together. So this is 2.5. Look at the horizontal scale, which we can define that the one entire loop is in pi. So period is a pi, which means B is 2. Remember, period B is a 2 pi over period. So 2 pi over pi is a B. In this case, D is a 0. Now you are required to write 4 equations, 2 equations of cosine and 2 equations of sine. One positive, one negative, one positive, one negative. So in this case, let's take a look at the easiest one is a sine equation. So we can say y is equal to 2.5. Then comes a sine. Make sure you insert appropriate parentheses. B is a 2. There is a no shift. So I wouldn't say 0, but you can just keep it. And D is also 0. So this is the easiest one. The equation is the first one. Again, starts with sine 0, 0. Now let's write negative sign. So negative 2.5 sine. Now negative sign goes below, and you can see that this is the beginning for negative sign graph. And you have to see how much is the shift. So this is a pi over 2 unit to the right. So what you have to do is that you have a same B x minus pi over 2. And we don't have a D. So C is a pi over 2 to the right. Now to write the cosine equation, so let's say 2.5 cosine. You have a same b value, but the horizontal shift would be different. So note that the cosine starts from maximum. So this is my reference point for cosine graph. And because cosine start from the maximum, so you can say this is a pi. So one block is pi over 4. And you can say x minus pi over 4. Make sure again you have appropriate parentheses. Negative cosine is negative 2.5 cosine. Now negative cosine starts from the minimum. So you have two choices. You can go here or you can go here. Sometimes the closest one is behind. So whichever one you choose, the both are correct. So in this case, negative cosine, same b value, x, and this is a horizontal shift to the left. So I would say plus pi over 4. So one more time, how to write equation 4 different ways. 2 cosine, 2 sine, 2 positive, 2 negative. This is the example. They always have a same amplitude. They always have a same B value. They always have a same D. C is the only one decides based on where you start the function from. Okay, so let's take a look at another example here. 2, this is a 1. So the entire graph is between 1 and 4. So always try to draw the center axis. Try to draw the central line, which would help you to understand the D. So this is your D, 3 units up. Amplitude is 1.5. You can say that height is half the total 1 and 4, divide by 2. So you can say what, 3 over 2 or 1.5. Okay, so now left is the period. Period is, this is the one entire loop. So you can say the whole wavelength is 2 pi on this side and 2 pi on this side. So altogether 4 pi is the period. Period is 4 pi, which means B is, remember B is a 2 pi over period. So B is 1/2 in this case. Okay, so now we have to write 4 equations, 2 positive, 2 negative, 2 cosine, 2 sine. In this case, negative sign will have 0 shift. Negative sign will have a 0 shift. Oh, I'm sorry. I made a mistake in this case. D is not a 3, but D is 2.5. My bad. I did not look carefully. Okay, so D is a 2.5. This is negative sign, 0 shift, 2.5. So let's write positive sign, 1.5 sine 1/2 x. Okay, so let's find out what will be the shift. Positive sign graph always starts from 0, 0 and it goes up. So this is my reference point for sine, or you can write from here or you can write here. So the shift is minus 2 pi. Or in this case, it would give the same answer, plus 2 pi, because of the symmetry. Okay, so let's talk about the cosine. 1.5 cosine, same half x and 2.5. Let me prepare the graph, the equation. You must have correct appropriate parentheses. Okay, so cosine. Cosine starts with a maximum. This is for the cosine. You can see that pi unit to the left. That's a positive cosine. Negative cosine is from here, minimum. In this case, it would be pi unit to the right. So let's get a practice of writing equations. I will help you with one of the homework problem as well. Okay, so these are the answers for the third equation here on the same page. You can see that amplitude is between 2 and 8, so total is a 10, and that is my central axis. So the height is a 5 and D is a 3 units down. Period is, one period is between 2 maximum. You can say that's the period, pi over 2, and B will be 4. So take a look at this equation. You have to shift one block is a pi over 4. This is pi over 4. So half of half is pi over 8. So you can pause the video here and look at these equations. Okay, so I'm going to help you out for homework problems. This is the homework page. You will have to write sine function for all odd problems, cosine function for all the even problems. If a scale is not labeled, you can assume it is 1. So here you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So clearly D is 4. Height is a 2. So A is a 2, D is 4. And for these odd numbers, we have to write sine equation. So sine is easy here. There is no shift. So the question is the period. How do you find a period here? One loop is here. This is a one loop. You can say that this is a one loop. But then how do you know what that point is? You can't just estimate the number. So for that part, we are going to look at the entire period. Here is a 2 pi. And you can say there is a one loop, two loops, and three loops in a 2 pi. There are three loops in 2 pi. So that means period is 2 pi over 3. So period is 2 pi over 3, which means B is 2 pi over 2 pi over 3, which will give you 3. And the easiest equation for this is a sine again. So 2 sine 3. There is a zero shift because it's a sine graph starts from here, and plus 4. So let's practice on these homework problems on this page. There are answers must be somewhere posted in the canvas. There are many really good problems. For example, in this case, you can see that there's the shifted here to here, and so you can again see that the 3 loops in a 2 pi. So period would be again 2 pi over 3, and you can estimate to write the equation. You have to see that this is pi over 2. So there are 3 90 degrees. So that would be pi over 6, pi over 3, and pi over 2. And you can use the shift based on the number. I want you to work on your own on this and then check the answers. Again, these are also really good problems on this page. If you look at the other side, continue working on this worksheet as well. They are really, really interesting problem. Just to help you out on this last one is, this is a beginning maximum and this is a minimum. So you can say the difference between 100 and 900 is 800. So 800 is your half the period. Because you don't see the entire period, you see only one piece. So you can say half the period is 800, full period will be 1600. And you can work based on that. Here there is a no scale, so you can say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, negative 10, and then you can find the amplitude. I'm going to stop here in this video. I want you to practice writing equations on these homework problems and check the answers in the files. Thank you.